What if Earth is not a planet but a platform? What if stars are not burning spheres millions of kilometers away but simply dots on a dome? You can call it flat Earth. You can call it a simulation, a game, a test. But the essence is the same. We are inside, not outside. We see the sky, but we can't touch a single star. We see the sun, but its size doesn't make sense. We see the moon, but no one can say for sure what it really is. Why does the sky behave like a projected system? Why do stars move in perfect trajectories? Why does no rocket fly straight up, but always veers sideways and disappears? Now imagine, you're a player. You load into this reality. Earth is your level. The dome is the ceiling of the game, and everything else is decoration. Planets, the background space, the intro screen, stars, markers, the sun and the moon. Time cycles are part of the game design. We think we live on a planet, but something feels wrong. The world repeats itself. Events echo. Déjà vu. Everything works through strange mechanisms, because you're not on a planet. You're in a loaded version of the world, and this level is designed so perfectly that you never ask the main question. What's beyond the boundary? Have you seen how domed stadiums look? Have you noticed how the sky sometimes glitches, lags, changes color, distorts like it's reloading? You feel there's a limit, but you can't locate it. And that's exactly what we overlook. Because you look at reality, but reality has been watching you for a long time. Like a mirror. Like a reflection. Like a cat waiting for you to wake up. You've heard it 1,000 times. Mercury is in retrograde. Venus is in fall. The moon is in shadow. But now imagine. You lift your head and realize the sky is not the sky. It's an interface, like a loading screen, like a dynamic backdrop, like a star map, not drawn in space, but coded into the simulation. Astrology isn't about planets. It's about you, your programming. The exact moment you were loaded into this system and what was happening in-game at that moment. You enter this world at moment X, and at that moment the interface displays Mars in a certain house, the moon in a specific phase, Jupiter opposite the sun. But if planets aren't physical bodies but variables in a script, then everything makes sense. You don't respond to distant rocks. You respond to frequencies coded into the system. Planets are not objects, they are symbols. Mars isn't a planet, it's a code of action, force, aggression. Venus isn't a sphere, it's a code of beauty, pleasure, sensitivity. Saturn isn't a rock with rings, it's a code of lessons, limits, and karma. Mercury isn't a metal ball, it's a code of communication, logic, and speed. When you're born under Mars, it doesn't mean Mars was shining through your window. It means your loading sequence included a response to Mars frequency variables. Why do horoscopes come true? Because you live inside a system where these codes are embedded in the fabric of reality. You don't notice it, but when your Jupiter aligns, opportunities start entering your field. When Saturn forms a square, you hit blocks, restrictions, challenges you must face. And it works, even if the planets aren't real in the way you've been told. Planets are just visual markers. The real work happens at the level of event code. They act like tooltips, like in-game beacons, like framing points in a pre-written script. You're not a child of space. You're a player in a vast game where the sky is the interface, the planets are variables, and astrology is not fortune-telling. It's a manual for activating your path. While some search the sky with telescopes, you already feel it within. Everything is vibration. Everything is a sign. Everything is a script. And you are not random. You are code, a glowing symbol, a soul in a body, and astrology is the language the Matrix uses to speak to you. We were told since childhood, the moon is Earth's natural satellite. It simply reflects sunlight. It affects tides, moods, and cycles, and that would be fine if there weren't so many strange coincidences. Coincidence number 1. The moon perfectly covers the sun during a total eclipse. Even though the moon is 400 times smaller than the sun, it's also 400 times closer to Earth. Perfect ratio, as if someone tailored it. Coincidence number 2. The moon doesn't rotate. It always shows the same face to Earth. You never see its backside. Ever. They call it synchronous rotation. But in reality, it behaves like a stable projection, like a screen locked to face the player. Coincidence number 3. The moon's surface mirrors Earth's terrain. Multiple satellite images have shown matching features: mountains, ridges, craters, as if the moon is a duplicated layer of Earth's geography, sometimes mirrored or inverted. The moon doesn't just float, it reflects. Not just light, but your emotions, your field, your body. What if the moon is a mirror? If Earth is a stage, then the moon is a camera, always watching you. When you're angry, the program registers it. When you awaken, the mirror adapts. When you meditate, the moon reflects that frequency into the system. The moon might be a repeater, amplifier, transmitter, mirror, surveillance tool, part of a much larger architecture. You may say the moon is just a rock, but on full moons, you don't sleep well. Your emotions spike. You feel insomnia, anxiety, visions, tears, rage. Why? If the moon is just a rock, why does it tug at such subtle strings? Ever notice how full moons raise chaos in hospitals? Kids cry more. Women have cycle shifts. Men snap. Artists crash or soar. Sensitive souls feel everything. The moon influences the wave, and the wave controls your energetic conductivity. You're made of 70% water, and water is the primary carrier of vibration. The moon, as a resonance amplifier, tunes you to a frequency you subconsciously emit. That's why rituals work during full moons, not because of magic, but because the body is at peak conductivity. You can discharge the excess, clear your field, cut ties, forgive, reset. Not mysticism, but an energetic system release. Because the moon isn't gravity for the body, it's gravity for emotion. Through the lens of the matrix, the moon is the interface for emotional calibration and data flow. Full moon, emotional purge. New moon, new programming. What is the sun, really? How many times have you heard, the sun is an average-sized star? But tell me honestly, have you ever seen anything that truly looks like it? Where's its texture? Where are the gases, the chaotic flares? Why is it always the same perfect circle? Fact number 1. The sun doesn't shine in all directions, it only shines inward, into the dome. On a clear day, you can see the rays converging down to a point. If the sun were 150 million kilometers away, the rays would be parallel. But they converge, which means the sun is closer, and it's either inside the simulation or projected into it. Fact number 2. The sun activates everything with its rise, like the command, start. Electricity flows stronger. People wake up. The body's metabolism kicks in. Plants open. Animals stir. Thoughts move faster. Information flows quicker. This is not just light. It's a code launch. Fact number 3. All life sinks to the sun, but no one sees its true nature. It doesn't grow larger near the horizon. That's an optical illusion. It doesn't rotate. In telescopes, its disk is still. It doesn't burn the air, but instantly warms surfaces. Its light doesn't reflect from the moon consistently. Sometimes the moon is brighter on its shaded side. All of this points to one thing. The sun is not a burning sphere. It's an artificial projector triggering the daily simulation. The conclusion. The sun isn't just light. It's field activation. It launches a new stream of data for the day. It regulates the flow of time. It influences perception waves. It powers up the stage we act upon. And when you hear light, it's not about the sky. It's about a cycle reboot. Like pressing play on reality. Like executing a script for a new chapter. Have you ever watched a solar eclipse through a filter? A sharp circle. A perfectly clean edge. An exact overlap. That's not gas behavior. That's not how a cosmic body behaves. That's the signature of a synchronized projection. What does it mean? Eclipses are not physics. They are reset points. Moments when the system clears old scripts, erases duplicates, and installs new timelines. That's why, in many cultures, eclipses were feared. They came with rituals, sacrifices, beliefs in gods and spirits. Because people could feel something shifts in the world during an eclipse. If you think it's just the moon covering the sun, remember how projectors work. When you place a cutout in front of the light, the image disappears, not because the light is gone, but because the mask interrupts the projection. That's what an eclipse is, a switch between layers of reality. A brief pause, where you fall out of the simulation for a moment, and in that stillness, you get the chance to see what's hidden behind the light. They told you the sun is energy, the moon is reflection, that the sun gives life, the moon affects the mind, that one controls the outer world, the other, the inner, and they weren't wrong. But they left something out. These are not just celestial bodies. They are control interfaces. The sun uploads. The moon clears. At sunrise, the scripts activate. You wake up. The body moves. Events begin. At sunset, pause, silence, a shift into the night cycle. And at night, the moon arrives. It launches inventory checks, subconscious access, emotional purging, dreams. The sun triggers the outer world. The moon opens the inner one. The sun affects the body. The moon influences the field. The sun aligns your biorhythms and energy flow. The moon sharpens feelings, emotional codes, deep reactions. Like an operating system and antivirus working in turns. One writes the program, the other cleans up the consequences. And that is the magic. You receive an update, and instantly, you begin the reboot. One day, full data input and emotional output. Your emotions, signals, your body, a receiver, and they, the interfaces. Thank you for being here. Take care of yourself, your thoughts, and your path. See you in the next video.